Okay, so here is our first stretching video on this new site. So I'm hoping that this will help to release some tightness in your glutes and your hips, perhaps after sitting for a little bit. We're not used to slowing down. So hopefully if you're feeling like you're getting any tightness in any areas of your body, this little series will help. So you're gonna take your hands behind you, lift your chest up and take your feet slightly wider than hip width. You're gonna take a deep breath, inhale, and then as you exhale, drop your knees over to the right. And then take a deep breath, inhale, and then exhale and drop them to the left. Now you can see my glute is super tight because I've been walking a lot of mileage over the course of the last couple of days since I haven't been able to get to the gym. And so you're just gonna breathe and allow your legs to drop side to side here. And then pause as you go to the one side here. And then you're gonna roll up on the opposite glute and bring the foot directly in front of the thigh. So you can see here, I'm not in 90-90, it's just a little different position. I'm gonna take one hand in front of my shoe and the other hand in front of my knee. I'm gonna take a deep breath, inhale. With my spine lengthened, I'm gonna exhale and melt forward. Inhale, come back up, and then exhale, melt forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, melt forward. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, melt forward. Now, if I had a lot of time and I wanted to make this a little bit more restorative, I could stack my fist and drop my head and do a cycle of perhaps 4 or 5 breaths, breathing in through the nose and exhaling out through the nose. But for time's sake, I'm gonna lift you up. If you need to pause the video, go ahead. The next piece to this is we're gonna literally turn, not our legs, I just did that for you, and place one hand on each side of the knee. So we're literally framing the knees with our hands. Our chest is square over that knee. You're gonna take a deep breath, inhale. Exhale, melt down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, melt down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, melt down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, melt down. Do that for 4 cycles. And then the same thing. You could bring your forearms down. Let your head rest as you stack them. If you have pillows or a yoga block, you could do the same thing there. So for time's sake, we're gonna push our body back up. You're gonna stay right there. I'm just gonna turn so I can show you this next angle. So we started here, we started here. Now we're gonna take the opposite hand on the outside of that knee and lift our chest and just breathe. We're not gonna collapse down here. We're just gonna keep our heart lifted. And you should feel that stretch literally coming across that oblique sling and stretching out your back. I can feel this all the way down into my abdominals. And just take a few breaths. And then slowly walk your hands back down until your heart is directly over that knee. Lower down your forearm and take your other arm up and over your head and reach. Take a deep breath and inhale as you're looking up at the sky. And then exhale, turn your body towards that knee. It's just this little bit of rotation. As we inhale, we open up. You take your arm wider, exhale, and literally reach your arm away from the torso. Inhale, come up. Exhale, reach. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, reach. Use your hands to get you back up. And then go back and just do your 90-90 here and see if you got any progress, which you should have on that one side. Now we're gonna drop to the other side. I'm gonna turn so you can see this. So we drop here. I'm pulling my left foot in front of my right thigh. Both hands come down. I lift my heart. I've got one hand in front of the knee, the other hand in front of my foot. I take a deep breath, inhale, and then as I exhale, I melt down. Same thing we did on the other side. After you take 4 breaths, you can find a home for your hands and just rest and breathe. If you need to pause right here on the film, go ahead. But for time's sake, I'm gonna push up and we're gonna move on. So now I'm gonna turn. So my heart, my sternum is right over that knee. And again, one hand is framing the foot. Both hands are framing the knee. And then I'm gonna melt down with the breath. Inhale through my nose. Exhale, melt. And I can literally feel this stretch going all the way down both legs. And if you stretched in person with me, you'll know this part by this series, the glute series, when I'm fanning out the tissue. So now we're going to turn all the way around, lift our heart and turn. Remember, we don't collapse here. We just keep our chest lifted and feel that work go all the way around and release through the spine. Slowly come back, drop the outside forearm. Arm goes over your head, look to the sky, inhale, and then exhale, reach. Inhale, open up. Exhale, reach. Inhale, open up. Exhale, reach. Last time. And then reach. And you could pause here if you felt like your body needed it. Using your hands to get you back up. Swing your legs so they're both in front of you, slightly wider than hip width, chest lifted, and drop both sides. You should have gotten a release there through your glutes. So now we're gonna move on to hips. So if you've taken my yoga classes with me before, you know how I always try to work on getting the posterior part of your hip. Because so often we do all this work in the front of the hip, right? The hip flexors, we forget about the back. So you're gonna set up almost as if you're in a child's pose, but if you watch, I'm gonna take my glutes with the breath and go side to side. Inhale up, and then exhale, drive my bum back over my foot. And I just go side to side with the breath here. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come back. Exhale. Each time you're driving your bum back over the heel. And then after you do that a few times and really warm up the hips, you could literally take your hands in the opposite hand and reach over and get a stretch all the way down the outside of the torso. Same thing on the other side. You might be able to see it better this side. I take my hand out, I drive my hip, and I'm just kind of opening up all the way down here. Now I'm gonna come up and we're gonna do this straight on hip work here. So we step out with one foot, take a deep breath, inhale, reach our arms up, exhale, press forward. Inhale, come back up. As we exhale, we're gonna pitch over that front leg. So now I feel this from the heel of my hand all the way down inside to the hip. Inhale, come up. Exhale, take my hands out to the opposite side and then turn. Feeling the stretch all the way down through all the tissue, perhaps even through the upper arm, down into the hip joint. And then swing your arms back up, take a deep breath, inhale, and then exhale, lean forward. Good, switch sides. So I'll do it this way so you can see. Deep breath, inhale, exhale, lean forward. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, go over to the front leg. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, take my hands to the outside of my thigh and gently turn. Inhale, bring my arms back up, and then exhale, come forward. Bring your hands by your side. Take a few deep breaths and see how that makes your hips and your glutes feel.